Welcome to the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. I'm Heath, and it's time to get into the bite. All right, folks, welcome to the show. This is the place, the one-stop shop for everything local fishing. We're going to go over what's biting, who's catching it, where it's being caught. We're also going to cover your future marine forecast, the moon phase, and the tide charts. Everything you need to know to keep you into the bite local. Before we get into this, though, if you want to learn more about fishing, grow as an angler, just see some great, exciting offshore fishing adventures, you can start by hitting the subscribe button and joining the South Florida Saltwater Fishing family. All right, folks, let's get right into this. We got a bunch to go over this week. Great past weekend, especially for fishing for mahi. The news of this week, the big news is going to be the weather this week. We've got some tropical weather moving in, and we're going to go over that in a little bit. But first, let's start out. We got something going on from the FWC. We have a seasonal modification for you folks on the Gulf side, Gulf state waters. Of course, you know. All right, so here's what this is, right? The FWC is modifying the Gulf Greater Amberjack recreational season. It was set to open up for harvest August 1st. It is now, they have pushed that back now to September 1st, and it will remain open through August 31st. So you got 2 months to harvest amberjack in the Gulf state waters. So what they're saying is amberjack are overfished. So they need to shorten the season, and if that doesn't help the population, they will more than likely come and start, laying down some heftier regulations when it comes to them, increasing length and shortening take-home amounts. All right, so that is our FWC issuance of the day. And now we are going to head over to our fishing report. We had some great stuff going on this weekend. Like I said, I saw a ton of mahi being caught everywhere, in close 200 to 300. Out, 400 to 500, 700 to 800. They were all over the place. I saw some folks come in with some big bull dolphin and some sizable cow dolphin, which is good. That means maybe they're showing up a little early this year. I'm not sure with the development of La Nina getting ready to set in, if that has something to do with it or not. Anyway, big dolphin showing up is always good. So let's get right into our inshore. For our inshore, we have, let me share this with you. We have Gary. He's got a nice little snook. Bear with me. I'll scroll down to it real quick. Gary does some inshore fishing. This is a backcountry fishing out of Jupiter. Nice little line sider right there. Always good catches. Gary, thank you for your submission. Hey, he's fishing. Looks like he's fishing, either not the mangroves, but the docks. Picked himself off one. Good catch. All right, so I'll talk a little bit more about inshore, right? The inshore is you've got your jack crevalles, your snook, and your tarpon are still feeding heavily on the pilchard run that is happening. So, if you're into doing that inshore fishing, go get you some live bait. It will help you be a little bit more productive than fishing artificials on there. And also, if you're finding that you're not getting the bite out on the reef, or if you're live, trolling, try some of the live bait. The pilchard run is going on. Get you a sabiki rig. I wouldn't, they're kind of pricey. Paying for them from bait shops. All right, let's continue on. Right, let's look at our reef. Got some good stuff going on the reef this week. Some snappers are still in effect. Here we go. This was from Yasmini. Looks like he went out at night. I can see the eyes reflecting back at us. Got a 5, 10, 20 yellowtail snappers. Some nice flags. Some, in the mix. So the thing about yellowtails, as if you don't know, is if you're catching them and they're dinks, they're little, they're not legal, you're going to have to pack it up and move. Yellowtails kind of tend to stay all within a somewhat similar group size when you are picking them off. All right. So Yasmini, thanks for the sharing that. Jason sent us a nice reef catch, right? So this is a buffet, right? So here's what we got. It looks like we got a couple of sharp-nosed sharks, some blue runners, lane snappers, nice mangrove, and a little raspberry grouper right here. So this can be, some people can consider this a tough day on the reef, but let's face it, this is actually a great catch, man. He went home with a ton of food, you know, and it's all in the preparation. Some people turn their noses up at blue runners. I used to do nothing but jetty fishing, and I pound them out and bring them home and make tacos. You know, it's all in the prep work. So like I said, you know, a great little buffet of the reef. You know, sometimes if you've got no current too, and you're not picking off the yellowtails and stuff like that, or the mutton snappers, these are, you know, could be a sign of, you know, a weird current or something going on in the atmosphere where you ended up with that catch. But still, a great day on the water for Jason. All right, let's see. Pedro Arana. He did not go out on the boat, but he hit the bridge, right? I think he said went inshore to the inlet to stretch his legs, hit up under a bridge, got himself a couple of nice snappers. Hey, went home, had some dinner. He even posted what he made. Let me show you. This is his peanut oil fried with sweet and sour sauce. Sticky skin, moist meat, just phenomenal. Looks good. Fried up whole snapper. Looks like some great sauce right there. Yeah, definitely. All right, so the inshore bite for the snappers, right underneath the bridge, fishing those canals. You can pick them off and get yourself a nice meal too. All right, this is John. Nice mangrove. Look at that. Good to go. Bring it home to dinner right there. That's a good sized mangrove too. Definitely. So as you can see, our snapper bite is popping still. Very good. No sense of complaining about that. Here we go. We've got one Alberto Perez. He's got, look at this. Man, that's a boatload of yellowtail. So he went out and he hit it hard, and he came home with the bacon. Definitely. Look, he keeps pulling them out. Man, they keep on coming. So, you know, got some nice flags there. Look at that. That's like an 18-incher right there. And you got some good ones. You know, so this is typical when you have a good day on the reef and you've got, or night, looks like they went out at night, and you've got the right current and the right conditions, and that's what happens, okay? So the yellowtail and the mangrove are biting. There are still muttons out there biting. You know, don't be afraid to go out, drift form, or anchor up. I prefer drifting for muttons. So just bear that in mind. All right, let's talk a little bit about pelagics. Keep on moving on, right? We got Orlando. He went out of Ponce Inlet, a little bit up to the north, right? Got himself a couple nice kingfish. Slow trolling frozen mullet on stinger rigs. Hey, get them how you can, folks. Nice solid kingfish. Go home, man. Grill them bad boys up. One of my favorite fish to eat. King mackerel. Delicious. All right. What else do we got in the way of pelagics? We got Brian Palmer. Brian Palmer, little sense of humor. Hawk to a 24. That girl sure has figured out how to capitalize on her 15 minutes of fame. Nice dolphin. Ryan Palmer is a captain. Check him out on Facebook. And if you are in the area where he is, hit him up. Has some great catches all the time. All right. And a good sense of humor, obviously. All right. Nice mahi, right? So the mahi are swimming around. Like I said, I saw a bunch of mahi, being caught everywhere this weekend. In shallow, out deep, everywhere. All right, here we go. Guggen the Pro offshore angler, Jason Reese, out with the sun with just a massive amount of blackfin tuna. He says something about it here. So did he limit out? Let's see, 10 blackfin and 2 mahi in 2 hours on Saturday evening, right outside of Hillsborough Inlet. $1.85 to $3.50 on feathers, small chuggers, and planers with the sea witch. He uses the artificial sea witches called Nita Strip artificial strips. So, and a lot of his catches are done with that. So if you ever have the question and you see those in the bait shop and you're questioning, hey, does this stuff work? Well, Jason is proof in the pudding right there. And then he went out and took his son out scuba diving. I believe his son has earned his certification, or he's working on it. Either which way, congratulations to the young man for adding that into his arsenal of conquering the sea. All righty. He says the young man slept very well that night. All right. Congrats, Jason, on a great offshore day. All right. What else? So blackfin are still swimming around, right? I did also hear a bunch of folks saying, little blackfins are, in that general vicinity, 200 to 300. There's Jason. Here we go. David. Nice little, mahi. He said this was the only one he got, but hey, still. A mahi's a mahi, man. Go home. Got you some tacos. Congrats, David. Let's see what else is in the way. So the thing of the week is really the return of the dolphin and the appearance of the bigger ones and the blackfin tuna, the little the footballs. Here we go. Thad took his buddy Joe and Jim out fishing. Got the skipjack out of Key Largo, 610 feet. Got a few schooling mahi as well, and again, the blackfin. So there you go. That's a skipjack tuna. So let me say something about skipjack tuna. You can catch these, you can take them home. There's some convolution about, aren't they a highly migratory species? Yes, they are. So what you need to be able to harvest skipjack tuna, you have to go on NOAA's website and you purchase a highly migratory species permit. The permit is attached to your boat. It's not attached to you as a person. So you put in your vehicle, your vessel documentation, and it's $25, and then you can catch fish like these and yellow fin tuna all day, every day, and no one will bother you. All right, so the tuna, right? It's coming that time of year, tuna time, and again, the dolphin have showed up. And here we go. This is Kevin McPherson out of Palm Beach Inlet. Like I said, here's a different depth, right? 500 to 700 feet. Nice bunch of mahi. They're going home and having, dolphin for days. Great picture. All right. And one other picture I know I got. Let me see here. This is my buddy Blake and his one of his friends. He grew up with Josh. They got this nice cow. They sent this to me when they got it through text message. They said 380 feet out of Port Everglades, right? So, let me turn that one off and let me actually show you the sorry about that. Here it is. This is nice cow dolphin. So like I said, the arrival of some sizable fish instead of the peanuts, taking off everywhere. All right. So that's what we got going on, folks, right? We got the snappers are still around. You just got to get that current, hit that current. Inshore, we got the snook and the tarpon. Everything's feeding on the bait. Inshore, also around the bridges, as you saw, Pedro, he went out. He caught a couple of nice snappers. So, there's keepers swimming around those bridges. If you are land-based fishermen, don't count out all your alleyways and avenues to produce fish. And our pelagics, obviously, the thing is, right now, is the dolphin and the blackfin tuna. Now you're deep dropping, you still got vermilion snappers. They're always swimming around. Black belly rosefish. Tilefish is shut down for the rest of the year until January 1st when they open up goldens. And then you got to wait till the end of March to start fishing the blue lines again. All right, so that's what it is. And also, swordfish are still swimming around. If you're a sword fisherman, yeah, that's tough going, but patience pays off. All right, so let's talk about our weather, right? So yesterday I looked at windy, and bear with me. This is what I saw on windy. We've got this there's a tropical disturbance out there, and it's going to be here by the weekend, and a lot of factors are going to happen. So I looked at windy yesterday, and and this is what I saw for Sunday. It's going to be right off the coast, but it changed today when I looked at it, right? So let me just show you what's the driving force behind this, right? First, I'll show you the prediction, and then I'm going to explain a little bit about this storm and what's happening, right? So here's the prediction. This screenshot is from yesterday, okay? So we've got a storm out here by the Lesser Antilles, and it's predicted to come this way. So the thing is, it's gonna be in our area. How bad it's gonna be, they can't really say right now. What's going on is there's no center of circulation. It's just a tropical wave, right? But once it gets past the Lesser Antilles and it gets into the shallow, warm waters on the east end of the Bahamas, something can literally pop up overnight. It can turn into a tropical storm, if not a low-grade hurricane, within 24 hours, if not get really bad. So once they have some center of circulation, they'll be able to actually tell us where it's going and give us some sort of tracks. Right now they have no tracks, but they just know that this storm is coming. How bad it's going to be changes hour by hour, literally. So let's look at this. I want to show you how they know it's going to come our way, right? So I'll bring this up and I'll help you understand a little bit about what's going on in the atmosphere. So right now in our atmosphere, out over the Atlantic, you've got this area of high pressure. Over the mainland, you've got an area of high pressure. Storms like these are low pressure. They are driven by high pressure in the upper atmosphere. So with these two areas of high pressure being here, this storm literally has nowhere to go but right up in between them, which leads it over Florida. So that's how they are coming to the conclusion that we're going to see some weather from this. All right. So that is that. Okay. So let's go and take a little bit of a further look at our forecast, right? We're going to pull up windy and we're going to go through it day by day and see what, what's predicting. Like I said, this is going to change as the week goes on. So, we're looking at here Tuesday's forecasts, and I can guarantee you tomorrow it's going to be different. So do yourself a favor. If you're concerned about this over the weekend, check it out day by day by day. It may change. It may just dissipate and go away. So what we've got right now, before I get into this, what we've got right now also is in our, actually I'll bring Wendy back up and it'll help explain some stuff. We've got Saharan dust just to the south of us, right? Right now we're in the midst of, actually a tropical wave is sitting on top of us right now, okay? But just to the south of us, starting tomorrow and the day after, the Saharan dust is going to move in and it's going to dry out. So today starting tonight and yesterday we had 50-60% chance of rain. Starting tomorrow it drops down to like 30. Thursday it's like 20% chance of rain. Friday even less. And then heading into the weekend, that Saharan dust is going to push to the north and it'll be followed by that tropical moisture, that tropical system that is going to move right in and, definitely give us some sort of weather. So let's look right now. Here we are right now. This is our wind. It's not too bad. And from what my understanding, the winds aren't going to be too bad over the next few days. So it looks like the week fishing during the week is going to be the thing to do. And over the weekend, it looks like our wind is going to pick up a little bit. But let's look at what, everybody's saying. So tomorrow morning, here we go. We've got our winds pulling from the southeast in the low double digits. More up north, Vero Beach, St. Lucie, and all that. It tends to calm down a little bit. Same thing on the West Coast. Down in the Keys, it's a little bit, it's all kind of amped up a little bit, right? Wednesday afternoon, it dies down a little bit. The onshore breezes in the afternoon. So remember, we've got that dry air that's going to start pushing in, which will, it's going to increase our temperatures, but it's going to decrease our chances of rain. Thursday morning, same thing, about 10 knots, 10 miles an hour. if not a little bit more. Down in the lower Keys, you're getting upwards of 12, 13. Over here, Tampa Bay, it's nice out there, not bad, right? So if you're on the down here in Big Bend in the Everglades National Park, it's going to be windy, so not ideal conditions for doing that shallow water, red fishing, all that good stuff. Tri-County area, not bad, less than 10 miles an hour tomorrow, right? Coming straight from the east, so it's looking like mahi conditions. Definitely, it might be a little bumpy out there, but it's definitely not going to be too bad. In the afternoon, our onshore breezes kick up, right? So if we're looking at moisture, these onshore breezes are actually going to push, the storms further inland instead of hanging out right on the shore. Friday, winds picking up in the morning, double digits, not looking real pretty, especially in the upper Keys. Same stuff on the West Coast, not real bad because it's traveling over the land. Friday afternoon, we're picking up. Like I said, we're going to start amping up as the weekend approaches. These are definitely up in the lower to mid-teens from the east. Again, if you don't know how to read this chart, it's down here. It's a color-coded chart. So the blues and purples are the lower. Purple is like non-existent wind. The blues and the lighter color blue you get comes up, and that's your wind speed increasing. Once you get into the greens, you're above 10 miles an hour heading into the upper teens. And when you start seeing colors like this, that's when you are above 20 miles an hour. Okay, so just to give you a little bit of an explanation about that, if you don't know how to read this chart. Again, all of these websites that I use are in the description. Use them to your advantage. And don't just trust just one source, because all different sources are going to say different things. All right, Saturday. Again, we're in, double digits, mid-teens. We're going to see some gusts, guarantee in the 20s. Saturday night looks like it's going to die down. And let's see. And here's that tropical area of disturbance. So this is what where it's saying it's going to be out over the Bahamas, the worst part of it. You can see where they're saying there's going to be like a center of circulation going on, and it's going to hit late Saturday night, Sunday morning. You can see the circulation. So it will still be offshore, but we're going to be getting some, it's actually saying that we're going to have a west wind that's fairly low on Sunday. And then as the sun comes up, it's going to pick up, right? We're going to amp up, and we're going to have there, you can see the center of circulation forming something late into Sunday. So you're going to have to watch. And there it is. It's going to really be picking up as Sunday, the day develops. So yes, we're going to get some sort of stuff, and then it's going to head up into the Carolinas more than likely come Monday. Yeah. Come Monday, we'll have winds coming from the west, probably turning our seas back pretty nice. Be all mixed up after that storm hits, and it'll make for a nice ocean. Fish will be out eating on everything after the storm passes, right? West winds all over the place, low down into the Keys and Everglades National Park, all the way up, Sarasota, Tampa Bay, low class winds. Tuesday morning. Again, so after the storm passes, we're going to have, the calm after the storm. So it's looking like, the rest of the week when it comes to the wind is, not too bad. And then the weekend is going to be a little bit iffy, right? If this storm holds track the way they're saying, it's probably going to be undoable come into Sunday. Then early next week after it passes, we go back to nice conditions. All right. So now that we've looked at that, let's look at our waves and see what our waves are going to do. Let's look tomorrow morning. We've got 2 to 3 foot waves, 2 foot, not bad. Down over here in your shallow water, non-existent waves. Down in the lower Keys, once you get offshore, you're looking at 2 to 4 foot seas. Up in Palm Bay and Vero Beach, it's 2 3 choppy. You know, we got the wind from the east, so it'll be bumpy. So if you've got going to be calm right when we go back to work. Yes, I know. Tell me about it. I had to cancel my plans for this weekend. The guy was pretty bummed out. He was going to come down from Georgia and do some fishing. All right. This is what Orlando said. Yeah, that's a par for the course, right? Okay. Wednesday afternoon, 2 foot over on the west coast, looking nice. Lake Okeechobee, dead flat as usual. Down in the Keys, a little bit more bumpier again. We've got out the ocean. That's your ocean breeze afternoon. Vero Beach up north, about the same all along the east coast. The Biscayne Bay is a little bit more subdued, a little bit less chop going up. Thursday, again, same thing. It's looking like 2 foot seas, 3 foot seas. There's going to be some bump. We'll look at and see if they give us any indication of the period between it when we go to WindFinder. Thursday afternoon, looks like it lays down a little bit. Right, same thing on the west coast, Tampa Bay. Same story all across. Not much changing. Friday, looks like it picked up a little bit. Again, the darker shades that this stuff goes, the bigger the waves are, right? The lighter the blue, it's not bad. When it gets into the real blues, that's, not doable. And if you ever see purples and reds, then it's really bad out there. Friday afternoon, it starts picking up again. Saturday, we're going to see the development of this breeze, which is going to start being no fun. Like I said, here come the waves Saturday, according to Windy, right? So we're looking at solid 2 to 4, if not bigger, up north where you got to head out offshore. These are, 4 to 5 foot waves. Heading over into the Bahamas, same thing, and down in the Keys. And again, this is this area of weather. Like I told you, when you start seeing pinks and purples and stuff, these waves are, 10-foot waves. So that's that area of tropical disturbance. It's pushing a lot of water towards us at that point of Saturday night. Here it comes. We look a little bit, 2 to 3, solid 2 to 3 foot waves over here, right? And out just north of the Bahamas. It's not looking real pretty out there, right? But that's not our local waters in this area. Down in the Keys, solid 2 to 4. And this is Saturday night, too, right? Saturday afternoon. Sunday morning, it looks like it wants to lay down a little bit, right? But we're going to have, moisture in the air from this storm. This is 4 a.m. Let's look. This is 4 to 8 a.m. And you can see the water is starting to push this way. The bad weather is coming. So, whether or not it's going to make it all the way into the coast is yet to see. We have to wait. Today is Tuesday. We got to see what in the world is going on in the future forecast. We're going to have to watch this. Hey, Pedro, how you doing? Great to see you too. Thanks for showing up. Sunday afternoon, again, it's showing 2 to 3, but we're going to have to wait and see what the reality of this is as the week approaches and where this area comes. So this red, as you can see, is 15-foot waves, but that's 80 miles offshore. Okay, even for up north. Monday starts turning back nice again. The storm has passed. Monday afternoon looking even better. I mean, look at this. Tuesday morning, dead out here. Even the Keys have beautiful weather. Time to get offshore, from Fort Lauderdale south, even the Tri-County area, it's 1 foot or less Tuesday afternoon, same thing. Let's see what happens Wednesday just for giggles. Yeah, still looking nice. So early next week after the storm passes, Tuesday looks like a great day to head offshore if you are into fishing the lake. And when I mean the lake, I mean when the ocean is like glass. It'll probably be hotter than, anything out there. But hey, all right, let's check out our rain. See what we got going on. Rain tomorrow morning. Offshore, Again, we're going to have drier air. The Saharan dust is going to reappear and keep us drier. You will have the development of the inland storms because of the onshore breeze in the afternoon. But like I said, more than likely over by the lake, and it's going to be pushed more that way. All right. Thursday, a really decreased chance because of the Saharan dust. Again, you will have a haze in the sky. That's Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon. Again, typical onshore showers. Where they really appear, it's good. They're going to be scattered. We'll have to watch your radar, your live radar. Friday morning, some stuff down south of the Bahamas. Again, the Saharan dust is starting to dissipate and move north. So we will have the reappearance, the emergence of that tropical moisture again starting Friday. Okay, Friday afternoon, here it comes. Like I said, the Saharan dust is leaving. Here comes the tropical moisture. Saturday, again, over the Bahamas. Saturday afternoon, and of course we've got the tropical development. Saturday going into it, this is where they're saying you can see it spinning around. So they're saying the windier side will be over here. The dirtier side of this storm is to the east. All right. So Sunday morning, here's our storm, and it's going to be a wet one, right? So again, Sunday is probably a washout if you're thinking about trying to get out there and do it. And again, we've got that storm right out here, right off the coast. It ain't going to happen Sunday, folks. Unless, like I said, then again, this report of the storm is changing hourly. So just track it, watch what happens. I mean, once this storm gets out here, let me show you. Once the storm gets out about here and the waters are shallow, it can develop anywhere. Any little movement in track to the north or south can change this drastically. It could stay way away from us. It can head south, and we can take, a direct hit from it. It can form into a hurricane overnight. We've seen that happen. We saw that happen with Beryl. Beryl turned into a very nasty hurricane in 24 hours. So just bear that in mind. Don't take these things lightly. Monday, again, the storm is leaving. You're going to have this trailing moisture Monday morning, Monday afternoon, still hanging out. This is the tropical moisture with the absence of the Saharan dust. Moisture is going to hang out in the sky. Tuesday, looking better. This was the day where it was looking very pretty, nice and calm out there. Again, onshore breezes in the afternoon. All right. So that's what Windy has to say. Let's look at WindFinder and see if they're going to jive with that. They are kind of run by the same folks. Let's take a look. All right, tomorrow, southeast winds right below 10 miles an hour, moving up into the low double digits in the afternoon. Looks pretty good, sunny, right? With a little bit of moisture in the morning, not much going on. Wave directions from the northeast to the east. 2 foot, around 2 foot, right? That's what we saw, and 6 second period. So, not too choppy, not too bad, but it'll be a little bumpy out there, a little sporty, which makes for good fishing. If it's dead flat, it's hot, it's hard fishing out there. Thursday, again, southeast to easterly winds. Friday, the same thing, southeast to easterly, staying in right around the same sort of pattern, right below 10 miles an hour, steady in the morning. And as the afternoon, the onshore breeze kicks in. Same thing Friday, the onshore breeze. As we head later into the evening, the gusts and the winds tend to pick up more steady. A little bit of moisture right around 11 a.m. Other than that, cloudy and kind of dry. Like I said, the Saharan dust is going to come in. Again, same thing Friday. Not much in the way of rain going on. Sunny. Wave directions are southeast to easterly. 2 foot. Again, 2 foot with the period. So remember that the period is shortening here. We got 4 and 5 second period. So it's going to start getting a little choppy out there. Saturday, as you can see, our winds have picked up steady, mid to high teens. gusts into the 20s as the evening progresses. Gusts will be over 20. Sunday, definitely, again, mid to high teens. And we're looking at rain, like I said. So Saturday, the moisture doesn't appear until the afternoon. Sunday, as nightfall, as the sun comes up, here comes the rain. Waves from the east. They're saying 3 foot, 6 to 7 second period. So we'll see if we've got that wind direction that's ripping and it's actually pulling from the west with the spinning of the storm, right? So your storm going to spin like this. And if you are, when the storm is south of us and we're on the north side, the wind comes from the east. As it passes us, the wind comes from the west, and that's that circulation. So the west will produce a longer period, bigger waves. It'll be a little crazy out there. And again, low pressure like that, low pressure systems tend to drive fish down deeper and away, and they tend to feed a little less when you've got that storm active. Okay, so just think about that. If you say, hey, it's not too bad, I want to go out there, just consider if it's a slow bite, low pressure messes with your fishing. And that's what hurricanes and tropical storms are. They are low pressure developments. All right, Monday, southeasterly, a little bit of a change up in the middle of the night. Tuesday, east southeast. Again, starts out low and doesn't go much above 10 miles an hour on either day. Tuesday is supposed to be the nicer of the 2 days. Monday, it looks like we got moisture all day, which will be trailing us from that storm passing us, still passing through Sunday. Remember, a storm is a huge thing, several hundred miles wide. It's not anything it's not a small storm. These storms extend out far and wide. Tuesday, a little bit of moisture in the air, but not too bad. So our waves are looking like 2 to 3 foot both days, 6 and 7 second period. So it looked a little bit nicer on windy graphic on Tuesday, but like I said, we got to see what's really going to happen with this storm. You're going to get a lot of mixed signals from these reports for the rest of the week. All right, let's look at what NOAA says. Other than they're shutting down greater amberjack. All right, tomorrow, staying 5 to 10 knots, 2 feet or less, southeast winds, 4 second period, right? So just consider that it's going to be choppy. Chance of showers and T-storms in the morning. Thursday, and the same thing with the night, 2 foot or less, so it calms down a little bit. Thursday, east winds, 5 to 10 knots, 2 feet or less. East waves at 2 foot, 4 second period. So again, they're saying a short choppy period. 2 foot waves with a 4 second period is, man, if you're out there on, let's say, a 20-foot boat, you're going to be rocking and rolling. Bigger, heavier boats, not too bad, not too doable. If you've got, your $1 million 40-foot Everglades. Anyway, not picking on anyone. Friday, 10 to 15 knots from the east, 2 foot or less. That's kind of contradicting what they're saying for the other days, but that's okay. The wave detail, east, 2 foot at 4 seconds. So again, choppy still, very choppy, not letting up. Friday, Saturday, east southeast winds 10 to 15, gusts to 20, 2 to 3 foot seas, chance of showers and thunderstorms in the morning, then showers and thunderstorms likely in the afternoon. Saturday night, 10 to 15, gusts to 20, chance of showers and thunderstorms. Showers likely after midnight. Sunday, south to southeast, 10 to 15, gusts to 20, seas 2 to 3 foot. So it's interesting that from the graphic on windy, we saw west winds. WindFinder and NOAA are saying south to southeast winds. So like I said, the forecast is all over the place right now because of this approaching storm. In my opinion, I just say, Sunday, don't try to do it. unless something, like I said, unless something drastically changes, one of the areas of high pressure moves quicker than they're anticipating it, it may go further out in the ocean, stay out in the ocean. It may push more towards and actually stall the storm over us, which is what WindFinder was looking like. It was going to stall the storm over us. So, and that's a worst case scenario, because then you take a ton of rain and you got your flooding going on. Especially, you know, down in Miami, they get a summer shower for 4 seconds, and places like Sweetwater and downtown Miami flood instantaneously. And that's starting to happen in Fort Lauderdale too. Major flooding going on. All right, let's look at our moon. See what we got going on, folks. If you fish by the moon today, we are waning. Okay, so again, as usual, to explain the concept of the moon and how we cross it. Waning means you are heading towards the dark side of the moon. Waxing means you are heading towards the full moon, the bright side. All right, so right now we're at 25% waning. Tomorrow, 16% waning. Thursday, 9%. Friday, 4%. Saturday, 1%. Sunday, new moon. Okay, so if you're a bait fisherman, unfortunately, it's gonna be rough seas for you, but these are ideal conditions throughout the week to go out and catch you some bait. Bait fishing is best done when there is very little light of the moon, especially if you're fishing for goggle eyes at night. Also, thread fins and pilchards bite better because they're not being chased up by the predators. Another good thing about being on the darker side of the moon, the predator, the pelagic bite tends to be a little hotter due to the fact that they're not eating all night. Again, sight is part of fishing for fish. It's not all sound and taste. So this is what we're looking like for our moon. We're heading into the new moon. That would be Sunday, and then we start to wax Monday and Tuesday. But still, very dark nights out there, okay? And especially with the storms rolling around, I just be cautious and watch your radars, and don't rely on the moon as a source of light. So that's our moon. Now let's look at our tide charts. If you like to fish by the tide, which is smart moves, because lots of fish need water flow to feed. They feed by the water flow, right? So the tide charts, again, folks, tides circulate every 12 hours. They have 6 hours of falling and 6 hours of rising. Why is the falling tide important, you might say, as opposed to the rising tide? So here's the way this works, folks. A falling tide, it makes your inlet fish good. What happens when your tide is falling? The water is pushing out of the inlet. It pushes all the sediment, all the microorganisms, the phosphorescence, hey, Kelly, hold on, I got a question here. What advice do you have if you get caught in an offshore storm? Don't have your outriggers up and don't have your rods up. No, if you get caught in a storm, try your best to go. I would say don't, go idle and ride it out. Try to find the edge of it. Try to, if you see the storm coming, definitely pull in your fishing gear. If it's looking bad and it's looking big, pull in your fishing gear and make a run for it. Don't, little boats can outrun storms. Storms go, 12 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour over the land. A boat, can outrun a storm. I never tell anybody, hey, ride it out. There's some storms that aren't thunderstorms during the summer, like a summer shower, that you can ride out if you don't want to go in. That's not too bad. But, if it's got lightning in it, definitely try to outrun it. Don't, or go around it. There's always going around a storm. But you got to remember, if you're trying to go around a storm, it builds up. It's an active piece in the atmosphere. So trying to run around it might not always work. But my advice is usually when I see storms, I run. I run like, all right, back to our, hopefully that answers your question. So again, falling tide at the jetties, right? Pushes out all the little foods and bits of food. The little bait fish come in and eat it, and then the bigger fish, the predators, come in and eat them. Very important if you're fishing a jetty or an inlet like land-based fishermen, you always want your tide falling. If your tide is rising and the water's coming in, you are catching nothing but water and rocks fishing from the jetty. Also, if you're fishing right out front of your jetty, trolling for fish like wahoo or the tuna, you're using that water flow, going for king mackerel, or you're drifting for mutton snapper, or you're anchored up trying to fish that water flow. Again, you need the tide going out, pushing towards you. Okay, so tomorrow, we are about a third of the way into the falling tide. Good time to get out and fish if you can. Slack tide at about 11:30. And again, this is going to happen as we head towards the weekend. We will go more into the rising tide as the sun comes up. Thursday, we are just at the beginning of the falling tide, right? So you've got a ton of time to fish. Same here with tomorrow. You've got a great amount of time to fish from the morning all the way to noon. Fish that inlet, definitely give it a shot. Okay. And again, if you're land-based and you're fishing a jetty all morning, when it hits noon, go home. Friday, slack tide pretty much as the sun comes up, and then it'll start picking up and start really pulling as it hits, 8 a.m. into the mid-morning hours. So great time to get out and fish if you can hit that Friday. Saturday, again, we're going to start seeing some of that wind pick up, and you have to deal with it. You will be, if you get out in the morning, you will be hitting the slack tide right around 8 a.m. So think about that. You're going to have a tide change. Fishing the slack tide is not an impossible thing. I've had some people that I know have great hookups at the slack tide, especially this past year with the wahoo. They were chewing at the slack tide. So again, it's fishing. It can be unpredictable. If we knew what made fish bite, why, when, and where, man, you wouldn't be sitting here watching me looking for answers, and I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have a job. I'd fish for a living. All right. So that is that when it comes to our future marine forecast. All right, folks, that about does it for our fishing and our weather. Before we leave, I want to do a little bit of shameless promotion. As always, if you have not checked it out yet, South Florida Saltwater Fishing, we have our own merch provided by our sponsor, WindRider. So these are UPF 50 shirts, quick drying. They protect you from the sun. They've got the logo, South Florida Saltwater Fishing, on them. You can get hoodies. You can get hoodies with gators. They're long sleeve shirts. You can get ones without the gator. You can get the logo on the back, on the front. You just, if you want to, you go on ahead and you click on it. You look at it. You check out the price if you like it. You order you one. They're actually WindRider. WindRider is a great company. Even if you don't get my shirts, check out their stuff. It's great to have these shirts. It keeps you from wearing sunscreen. I always think sunscreen screws up your fishing. I try to not wear it at all. So these shirts right here with the gator, the built-in gator, and the hoodie. I wear a hat, try to keep covered up and save my skin a little bit from the sun. The link is in the description. Click on it and give it a look. Support the brand. Thank you, Orlando. Yes, I love mine too. I have a regular one with no hood on it, so that's why I never wear it out fishing. I got this one that you actually see here on the website. If you ever see me out there, this is the actual one I have. It just doesn't have the logo on it. Thank you, though. I'm glad you love yours. Okay, so yeah, shameless promotion done. And again, before we sign off, folks, if you have Facebook, I would like to send you to the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. Again, you don't have to, but this Facebook group was developed so that it can drive this weekly show that we have, the weekly live saltwater fishing report. Okay, it looks like this. The actual page looks like this minus the date. Go on there, ask to join. It is a private group. It's not public. I don't want a million bots in my group collecting data from other people. You have to answer a couple of questions to get onto the group. What's your favorite fish? And do you agree to the rules? The rules are simple. You know, no selling stuff, no YouTube videos. You know, I do enough promotion for people like Jason Reese. If you're a captain like Ryan Palmer, yeah, hey man, I have no problem putting out the good word. People work hard and you deserve to be heard, especially if you are, putting in some work and helping out with the report. All right. So again, if you're on Facebook, feel free to join. And as usual, if you have not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, which you are watching, feel free to join the fishing family. A ton of information, free. It helps you get into the bite and learn a little bit about that. And if you ever need anything, you need to contact me, you're interested in guided services on your boat, send me an email. The link is also in the description. All right, folks, that about does it for this episode. Hope you had fun. And again, I hope that this storm turns away and leaves us alone this weekend and we get some good weather. But that's more than likely not the case. So till next Tuesday, South Florida saltwater fishing, going wherever the cool wind takes us.